London, really? That's my all-time favorite city.
It is.
Absolutely.
It was love at first sight.
Sight. Sight.
It was love at first sight. It was love at first sight.
You know, I think perhaps I have met you somewhere before.
Somewhere. Somewhere.
I think perhaps I have met you somewhere before.
Had wonderful sex. And shared the most intimate secrets.
Intimate. Intimate.
And shared the most intimate secrets. And shared the most intimate secrets. One warm spring day,
Warm. Warm.
one warm spring day,
Not yet.
that day, Tim popped the question.
Pop. Pop.
That day, Tim popped the question. That day, Tim popped the question.
How'd you like to have dinner with my folks Tuesday night?
Folk. Folk.
How'd you like to have dinner with my folks Tuesday night?
Tim, it's Elizabeth. It's an awfully long rain check.
He said he was up to his ears and that he'd call her the next day.
Ear. Ear.
He said he was up to his ears and that he'd call her the next day. No one has breakfast at Tiffany's and no one has affairs to remember. Instead, we have breakfast at 7 a.m.
Breakfast. Breakfast.
Instead, we have breakfast at 7 a.m. No one has breakfast at Tiffany's and no one has affairs to remember. Instead, we have breakfast at 7 a.m. and affairs we try to forget as quickly as possible.
Affair. Affair.
And affairs we try to forget as quickly as possible. And no great unmarried men. I explore these sorts of issues in my column, and I have terrific sources, my friends.
Terrific. Terrific.
Terrific sources, my friends.
It's all about age and biology.
Biology. Biology.
It's all about age and biology.
Trust me, this is not a story that makes men feel bad.
Most men are threatened by successful women.
Threaten. Threaten.
Most men are threatened by successful women.
You know?
It's like the older we get, the more we keep self-selecting.
Self. Self.
It's like the older we get, the more we keep self-selecting.
What women really want is Alec Baldwin.
There's not one woman in New York who hasn't turned down 10 wonderful guys.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
There's not one woman in New York who hasn't turned down 10 wonderful guys.
They are just as self-centered and unappreciative as the good-looking ones.
Why don't these women just marry a fat guy?
Fat. Fat.
Why don't these women just marry a fat guy?
You mean with dildos?
No, I mean without feeling.
Samantha Jones was a New York inspiration.
Inspiration. Inspiration.
Samantha Jones was a New York inspiration. What about romance?
Yeah, no, who needs that? It's like that guy Jeremiah, the poet.
Poet. Poet.
It's like that guy Jeremiah, the poet. I mean, the sex was incredible. But then he wanted to read me his poetry and go out to dinner and the whole...
Poetry. Poetry.
But then he wanted to read me his poetry and go out to dinner and the whole...
What are you saying? Are you saying you're just gonna give up on love? That's sick.
No, believe me.
Sick. Sick.
That's sick.
No, believe me.
If the right guy comes along and you two right here, this whole thing, right out the window.
No. The right guy is an illusion. You understand that? You can start living your life.
So you think...
Illusion. Illusion.
The right guy is an illusion. You understand that you can start living your life.
So you think...
Romance in New York is the gay community. It's straight love that's become closeted.
Closet. Closet.
It's straight love that's become closeted. It's straight love that's become closeted.
Stanford Blatch was one of my closest friends. He was the owner of a talent agency who, at the moment, was down to a single client.
Talent. Talent.
He was the owner of a talent agency who, at the moment, was down to a single client. So, are you telling me that you're in love?
How could I possibly sustain a relationship?
Sustain. Sustain.
How could I possibly sustain a relationship? Are you out of your mind? What the hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, calm down. It's research.
Calm. Calm.
Oh, calm down. It's research. Number one,
There you go.
he's very handsome.
Handsome. Handsome.
Number one,
There you go.
he's very handsome.
I'm a romantic. I just have so much feeling.
Are you sure you're not gay?
No. I'm sensitive.
Sensitive. Sensitive.
No. I'm sensitive.
Sometimes cottage cheese.
It is like a model bomb exploded in this room tonight.
Explode. Explode.
It is like a model bomb exploded in this room tonight. It is like a model bomb exploded in this room tonight. Is there a woman here aside from me that weighs more than 100 pounds?
Aside. Aside.
Is there a woman here aside from me that weighs more than 100 pounds? Is there a woman here aside from me that weighs more than 100 pounds?
I know, it's like Undereaters Anonymous.
Anonymous. Anonymous.
I know, it's like Undereaters Anonymous.
Men secretly hate pretty girls because they feel that they're the ones who rejected them in high school.
Right, but if you're not part of the Beauty Olympics...
Olympic. Olympic.
Right, but if you're not part of the Beauty Olympics... No, of course you are.
So, ipso facto, I can't be interesting? Women either fall into one of two categories.
Category. Category.
Women either fall into one of two categories.
And I thought, how great. You finally understand the kind of relationship I really want. Now we can have sex without commitment.
Commitment. Commitment.
And now we can have sex without commitment.
Scoot over, will you? 2 stops. 4th and Bank and West Broad.
Fourth. Fourth.
Fourth and Bank and West Broad.
Back at chaos.
Chaos. Chaos.
Back at chaos. Back at chaos, things were swinging into high gear.
Gear. Gear.
Things were swinging into high gear.
Really?
You want a private tour?
Tour. Tour.
You want a private tour?
Well, get in for Christ's sakes.
Sake. Sake.
Well, get in for Christ's sakes.
You got that, Al?
Yes, sir.
So what have you been doing lately?
Lately. Lately.
So what have you been doing lately? Yeah.
Suddenly, I felt the wind knocked out of me.
Knock. Knock.
Suddenly, I felt the wind knocked out of me. Suddenly, I felt the wind knocked out of me. I wanted to crawl under the covers and go right to sleep.
Crawl. Crawl.
I wanted to crawl under the covers and go right to sleep.